sorry.
I don't want to get out.
I'm sorry. You're a child and you don't get to make all the decisions. But you need to get out now, and it's time to come home. Okay? Come
What's
on.
the camera for?
Oh, don't worry about it. You need to come on. I'm sorry.
I don't want to get out.
I understand, but it's no longer visitation with your father, and it's time to come home. Okay? All right. We can talk about this. I'll listen to what you have to say, but there's no way that you can just roll up and everything's fine and you can just roll up and say, oh, I'm not going to get out of the truck. And this mama is not going to say, oh, okay, bye kid that I've raised for 14 years, see you later. I'm just not that way.
All right, all right, all right, all right. How is everybody? Many thanks to my buddy Dwayne Ward at the pissedoffparent.com for making that. He made that, like, I don't know, a year or two ago. How is everyone? I think I like that intro better. I mean, I like the other one, the one I was using where I picked up the kids and got the greatest hug ever. But it always makes me so sad. And that one, just the one that Dwayne made, makes me laugh. Hello, Dannon and Wicca and Saya and Jamie Marshall. And who else we got here? Little C. Yeah, I think I want to get my little, I was trying something different. Oh, y'all remember the other day when the screen wouldn't reduce? It would take my mic off and I couldn't narrate. I got that fixed. I don't know how I did it. Maybe just turning off and back on, I guess. Get my night driving. It's a little too loud. Got just a tiny little bit of background. But yeah, I think I have empty nest syndrome, and I think I've had it for a long time. I think I've had it pretty much since I bought the sailboat in the fall of 2020 during COVIDs. Because I had moved, Blaine was living with me. We were in Odessa in the spring of 2020. I moved to Willis, Texas. Blaine and I did. And he was 17 at the time, I think. Or 16, about to turn 17. And then I bought the sailboat and because the kids quit coming around, and I was in Schittsburg, Texas, and I hated it there. And I got a nice first decent paycheck from YouTube, and that's what I bought my sailboat with. And moved to Florida for the first time ever in my life. Music is loud. How's that? Hello, Email Bacon, Colin Hackett, Wicca Thanks. How's that? Is that better? On my end, it's not showing bad at all. Sounds the same. Well, I've got it completely off now. Are y'all still hearing it? This 30-second lag. I'm just going to turn it off. Okay, there, I just turned it off. How's that? These glitches, I have no idea why it does it. I've used that same background. Okay, it stopped. Good. I've used that same background for like 3 years ago when I was doing this. I don't know why I was doing that. But for those that were here, I don't know, 2 days ago, Here, I'll show y'all. I couldn't. I was going to show y'all pictures of me and Blaney Boo and our progress. See, I couldn't do this. I was trying every time I would try to reduce it, putting me off over there in the lower left corner. I have no idea why it wouldn't do it. But if I took myself off, then it took my mic off. And I didn't do anything magical, just turn it off and back on, and it just came back. So, well, now, yeah, I'll finish up where I was before I get into my weird empty nest syndrome. Me on the left is August 21st of 2021. I was exactly 1 year sober. Email Bacon, did I like living in Florida? Yeah. It's better in Texas. It wasn't perfect, but it was hot. And the two big things I don't like about Florida is the heat and the crowds. Other than that, Florida's great. Well, their car insurance is way too damn high. Anyway, this is me on the left, 1 year sober, but no exercise, and me on the right about 2 years ago, about 2 years into working out. So anyway, I'm not going to go over that. Let's put there. So empty nest syndrome. What is empty nest syndrome? I'll show you. I've actually, let's see if this works. I don't know if it works or not. I'm going to add this. Yeah. I can't read it from here, but I'm sure y'all can. I hope you can. Empty nest syndrome is when you missed all your cheerings and nothing fun to enjoy life anymore. Basically, yeah, kind of. I just did a quick Google search, and the AI overview says empty nest syndrome is a term used to describe the emotional and psychological changes that some parents experience when their children leave home to live independently. And some of the symptoms are, now these don't all apply to me. Maybe they did at certain parts, but sadness and depression. Well, I already had depression way before empty nest. I had depression while I had them, but I guess mine's a little extreme because I had to go to jail just to get him. Loneliness, check. Loss of purpose or identity, sort of. Anxiety or worry about children. I don't think that ever stops. I've always worried about them. Maybe less. Grief, difficulty adjusting to a quieter household. That part, that's what I mean by me. For me, it's not. What's wrong with this stupid thing? It's not good or bad. It's just weird. It's a weird phenomenon. The quieter household, I mean, I ain't complaining. I don't miss getting up out of bed and all the just total interruption. It's strange not having them there to do that, but I like the quiet. Marital stress. Well, that obviously does not apply to me. Restlessness. I'm finally, for the very first time in my life, and it's been gradual since I got sober over the last 4.5 years, but I'm starting, the longer I'm sober, the better I sleep. Like I'm getting up to almost 8.5 hours some nights. Back during COVID, I watched an interview that Joe Rogan did with Matthew McConaughey, and I heard Matthew, and they were doing it like not in person like Joe normally does. They were doing it separated because of COVID. And I heard Matthew just casually say, yeah, Joe asked him, how much do you sleep at night? He said 8.5 hours. He goes, that's oddly specific. He goes, 8.5 hours. I've trained it myself. I get 8.5 hours. I remember thinking back then, I was either about to be sober or freshly sober. It was sometime at the beginning of COVID. sometime in 2020. And I thought to myself, wow, I just can't imagine what that must feel like. All right, causes. The causes. The departure of children from the home, which can lead to a sense of loss and emptiness. Yes. Changes in family dynamics and routines, such as getting divorced in Title IV defunded family courts and them sending your ass to jail. That did it. Yep. I added that part. A decline in the parental role and responsibilities. Yeah. As far as directly. Now, I talk to them all the time on the phone. I'm just not there to wipe their butts. Midlife crisis or other life transitions. Yes. I think I've been inside my midlife crisis for at least the last 4.5 years. But again, it's not all bad and it's not all good. It's just weird. All right. The prevalence, it is estimated that up to 25% of parents experience some kind of symptoms of empty nest syndrome. However, the severity and duration of symptoms can vary widely. Obviously, I don't know how long other parents have felt this, but we're going on 4.5, 5 years of I got sober, bought the sailboat, moved to Florida, away from, in other words, away from the kids, like all in the same year. Blaine and I, it was like February of 2020 or January. We moved from Odessa to Willis, and then COVID's hit, February, all the lockdowns, and then I got serious and made my first real crypto investment in July of 2020. I'd already been in it, but I really started studying the markets, then got sober a month later. Then 2 or 3 months later, bought the sailboat. Blaine went to live with Parker. It was, I can't get into details there, and then I moved to Florida, and it's just been a hell of a ride. Treatment. Acknowledge and validate emotions. It is important to acknowledge and validate the feelings of empty nesters. That's got to be written by a woman. I mean, who's going to acknowledge and validate me? Me. Unless you count this. I guess, truth be told, me doing these lives about these things that I go through, this is my therapy, so I'm really doing this more for me than y'all. Except it's cheaper. Because therapists, I hadn't been to one in 18 years since I got divorced, but they're expensive. Maintain contact with the Cheerins. Well, half my kids call regularly and half don't. That's weird. Continue to stay connected with the Cheerins through regular communications and visits. Develop new hobbies and interests. I definitely check that box. Getting sober was a hobby in and of itself because I still to this day obsess over it. I love it. I want more people to feel the joys of the sobriety. And then a year later, my gut was sticking out to here and I had pencil arms. And so y'all have heard me talk about mocking people like I used to be. So I got the hobby of lifting weights and eating properly, high protein diets, and not eating shit out of a box or a bag or a tube like Pringles. And now I've taken up running. Seek support from others. Talk to friends, family, or a therapist about your experience. Da-da-da! Here I am. I don't have many friends. I guess I talk to the people here in the chat more than I talk to outside, Parker and Blaine. Or a therapist about your experience. I bet you a therapist, I hadn't been to one in literally years, almost 2 decades. And I would imagine a proper therapist, if you're outside of the network and don't have that, I bet you they're $120 to $150 an hour, if I was guessing. Not sure. So, yeah, that's a big no for me. Consider couples counseling. That doesn't apply. If an empty nest syndrome is affecting marital relations, consider seeking professional help. God, I don't miss that shit. Oh, I'm not trying to shit on marriage. I actually, I do envy people that are genuinely happily married and have been for years, if not decades. I do envy them. I'm just obviously not a marriage kind of guy. I don't know how to pick them. Prognosis: most parents eventually adjust to their empty nest and find new ways to fulfill their lives. I'm getting there. However, for some, the symptoms may persist or worsen, requiring professional intervention. I don't think I need an intervention. I'm sober. I'm strong as shit for an old fart, so I don't think I need an intervention. But the weirdness of it is obviously persisting because it's been, like I said, 4.5 going on 5 years. I've not lived with them. And part of that, let me get back over here. I'm going to go into this a little bit. I'm still a one-man show there. What was I talking about? Part of what? Well, just that's what it was. Parker is having, I talked to him today, and he's having a really, really good, positive thing happen to him. He's in the process of at the moment that I cannot go into. But that's what got me to thinking about this entire thing of empty nest. It's bittersweet. There's, it's like an ending to one thing and a beginning of another. I spent, I don't know, 10, 12, better part of 10 or 12 years, all of my 30s and part of my early 40s, literally building my entire life, my entire world, my entire identity as that internet dad that just showed up and got his ass kicked and got thrown in jail. And I spent all that energy and all that money and all that effort shutting down work on Thursdays, driving Fridays all day, 5.5 hours to San Antonio, picking up the children, making sure I had medicine and food and money to get there and entertain them, and Christmases, and then drop them off on Sunday, whether it's 2:00 or 6:00. God, that was such a pain in the ass. The kids hated the 2:00. And then turn around driving 5.5 hours back, going back to work on Monday morning. Then 2 weeks later, repeat. I did that for years. And that was just what I did. I didn't do anything else. And then it just kind of, within 1 year, so much changed. COVID's hit. Moved out of Odessa. I'd never lived out of Odessa in my life. Well, I mean, the kid's mother and I moved to Greenwood for a brief bit right before the divorce. But for the most part, never even been out of Odessa as far as living. I moved to Florida. The kids were all grown. They didn't maliciously quit coming around. They're just teenagers. They had their own life. They were doing their own thing. And Dad was just, boring, or maybe not boring. I don't know what the word I'd use, but they were doing their own thing. And then I got into sailing, and then sobriety, and then the weights, and then Blaine actually came to live with me in this tiny little sailboat for a brief bit, and then sold the sailboat, started driving from Florida all the way to the northwestmost point of the United States, and just dipping my little toe in the Pacific Ocean all by myself. And then finding all these mountains. I literally just stumbled upon Cloud Peak within the Bighorn National Forest. What? Beck? Am I looking for a wife? That would be a big, fat no. Nope, not looking for a wife. Don't want a wife. I'm obviously not very good at it, and I obviously still have severe issues I don't know if it's mommy issues or daddy issues or cheering issues or just me issues, but no, I'm not. I did for a while. I remarried briefly after the kid's mother and I divorced, but no. But here it is. About to be 48 next week, and I'm just still making conversation with Parker on that transition he's going through. I'm like, yeah, it's not bad. It's not good. It's just really, really weird. Dannon, you became a member? I thought you already were a member. Dannon? Oh, by the way, Dannon, I got you sent me that thing you redid. I was talking to Parker and I totally forgot to go look at it, and I'm sorry. I will go look at it. But thank you for becoming another member. What? Okay, well, just rub it in. Duh. See, it's not a me. It's not a them problem. It's a me problem. I know. I've got problem. I know I do, and I'm okay with it. That's part of the whole weirdness, and that's what I was telling PK. Like, yeah, dude, there's some sad parts about it, but look at the doors that just opened. Same with me. There's some sad parts about it. I'm not gonna lie. I wished I was able to still be with the original woman, the very first woman that I fell in love with, because she's the mother of my children. It's not that I want to be back with her, but who wouldn't want their nuclear family? Yeah, it's sad that it had to end because after her actions, her behavior, there's no way in hell I could stay. So I have to separate. I'm learning to separate the sad stuff and look forward to the good stuff. If my crypto bags go through, I'm going to be getting that third leg of that three-legged stool, and I'll be on a roll. I got my spiritual life together. I got my physical life together. The only one that hasn't played ball that I've been diligently working on is my investment. That's the one I'm waiting on. So I'm learning to separate the sad part. Again, please don't take that the wrong way. I don't want my ex-wife back. I mean, I married her fucking twice. Duh. It was dumb. I've gone into it. I don't really want to go into it again. It's not that at all. But she's the mother of my 4 children. In a perfect world, a family would be together and stay together and, grow old together and die together. That's just, to me, that's normal. But I've got to separate myself and from that obvious sad side and accept it for what it is and move on to the positive side. Here I am, 48 years old. I run 2 to 6 miles a day. I'm strong as shit. And I've got a lot of life left in me. Parker sent me a TikTok video right before I got on here, and I watched it, and it's this old man, like 83, and he's eating his homegrown duck eggs and chicken eggs. And he called and he said, "Hey, that's amazing." Because he knows I'm into that stuff. I said, "Yeah, that's what real food is." So if, knock on wood, that guy's about, 40 something years older than me, and he looked great. The old fart was just jacked and ripped and cooking his own eggs, cooking them in butter or coconut oil or whatever. And so I'm just looking forward to staying on my path. And that's what I tell my kids all the time. Stay on your path. If a man, I can't speak for women because I don't know. I'm not a woman. I don't know what it's like to be a woman. But for a man, if you get off your path, you might fail anyways, but you'll definitely fail if you get off your path. And a few of the big ones that I've noticed for men, because I lived it, is getting married too young. Men, in my opinion, for the most part, have no business getting married too young because they're just too immature. In my opinion, young men need to wait at least until they're 25 and probably closer to 30. Now, some men are far more intelligent than me and they figure life out sooner than I did. I'm open about the fact that I've always been a slow learner, real slow. But especially once I sobered up, when I catch up, I tend to catch up real quick, usually. So I just tell them all the time, stay on your path. If you ever meet any of my kids, especially the boys, you'll hear them. You could ask them, does Dad say that a lot? Does your dad say that? Stay on your path? Yeah, like all the effing time. Yeah, and I do, because I think it's important. Stay on your path, because if you don't stay on your path, then you're veering. Another thing that's big, gigantic screw up that I did is I turned to booze. I turned to alcohol to deal with my problems. That was a gigantic mistake. I shouldn't have done it. I regret it. Yeah, no kidding. Eggs are a delicacy these days. Yep, they're expensive. 2 weeks ago, I go to town once a week for groceries. Other than that, I never leave this property other than just running out in the big, wide open cow pasture. 2 weeks ago, I went to get eggs and groceries, and an 18-pack was $14. But then this last week, it was $8. I don't remember what eggs were when I first got up here to Wyoming. I assume $8, but they just skyrocketed. 8, 10, 12, $14 for a freaking 18-pack. And then all of a sudden, it just, like with any other parabola, like a Bitcoin parabola, it just went up, crashed back down. Yeah, I typically, whatever topic I'm going to talk about, and then I get to chat. And I'm basically done talking about. If anybody wants to talk about your experience with Empty Nest, hello, Caleb Leverett. Much respect to you guys. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to have to change back to the red. I was fooling around. I can't see Yoka Farah 666, the sign of the devil, if you believe in that sort of thing. Thanks. What did I miss? Hello, Nicholas. Hello, Logan. You agreed for me. Super stickers, super chat only. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Oh, you're talking about when Dannon got a membership. By the way, I keep forgetting every time I get back on here. If y'all want to get on here and talk to me, if you become a member, there is a, you know what? I didn't stick the link in there. I guess I can do it. Yeah, I can. Give me just a sec. I don't know if anybody wants to. I'll have to, give me just a sec. Invite. All right. Copy. I think I can do this. All right, I got to click over to a different tab. If I lose you, I'll start it back up. I don't think I will, though. Go to me. Posts. Oh, I've got the night. I got to swap that. Can't see. Go to member. Command V and post. Bad Caleb. Bad Caleb. All right. If you do want to get on and chit chat with me by becoming a member, if you go over to the posts section, It's now there. Let me make sure I didn't get kicked off. Is my Cash App still the same? Yeah, I think. Oh, from my banner? Yeah, I can change it. If y'all want to do that. I kind of feel like an OF person if I do that, but yeah, there. I don't think you can say that on YouTube. Surely everybody by now knows what OF is because I rail against it, against them. On the flip side of how you were mentioning staying on your path, I feel like my biggest screw up at this point in my life is staying on my own path too much. How could that be a screw up? If a man, Brad, in my opinion, if a man is on his path, that means he is focusing on himself. He's focusing on his pocketbook, his spiritual life. He's continuing. If he's already got a foundation built, he's just building it up and building his kingdom. Maybe we just have a different definition of path. I'd be curious to see what you mean by that. It doesn't let me purchase a membership. I went into when I had it April 15th of 21, but I can't renew it. Huh. I don't know. That's not a StreamYard glitch. That would be a YouTube glitch, unless I'm doing something wrong. I want to be a member right now, but I can't because I have to save money for college at the university. Yes, and thanks for bringing that up. I've said this for even back then. If you're poor, and if you're young, you're probably poor, especially in this shit economy. Or if you're a young parent and you're wondering where the rent's going to come from, or you're wondering where milk money's going to come from, by no means do not ever become a member for me or anybody else. Do not send me money. Do not send any whining, crying YouTuber. Don't send anybody money. I put some of these out there. These are for people who are just set and they just enjoy helping. But yeah, if you're struggling financially and you're wondering where the rent or milk money's come from, do not ever send me money. And I'll extend that even further. Don't send anybody. You're not a friend, nothing. Don't send. You focus. That's part of what I mean by staying on your path. You've got to stay on your path and take care of yourself. That is your path, because you can't take care of and protect anyone else if you don't first take care of yourself. For a lot of things, I like to think of something I heard someone say a long time ago. I don't believe in perfection, but I believe in the pursuit of perfection is very real. Yeah, that's kind of like the Thomas Jefferson quote of the Declaration of Independence. We don't have a right to life, liberty, and happiness. We have the right to pursue it. We're not guaranteed any of it. I see what you mean. More so, what I meant was focusing too much on one leg of my three-legged stool instead of all three equally. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's on your path, but I guess to put it a different way, just out of balance. Yes. In my opinion, you can go one of the three legs of a man's path of his three-legged stool is financial, and it's very important. You got to have it. I still lack it. That's the only thing hadn't played ball for me. And if you work yourself to death, meaning pursuing that dollar, which, again, I'm not shitting on making money. Everybody has to. But it can be dangerous if you neglect sleep, if you neglect eating well, if you neglect stretching and working out, lifting heavy or running, whichever you choose, yeah, okay, maybe you'll get the money, but if you have a heart attack in the pursuit of it, what's the point? Yeah, okay, I get it. But yeah, life is a balance. I guess within that three-legged stool, it's best to get your physical and spiritual lives in check first, then grow that money leg. Maybe I'm ahead of my time and didn't even realize it. I did it by accident. I got hold of my physical health because I made a damn good living like many, many moons ago when I got divorced. I did really well for a young guy, for a young, naive, married, brand new divorcee. I did really well. I'm not sure. I assume y'all are still talking about why you can't get a membership. I mean, I've had, that Red Squirrel person. He got a membership. Somebody, Dannon just got one. Somebody got one a couple days ago. I don't have it in front of me. I don't. Well, I'll tell you that. Let me go back over here. Yeah, I think you just go to the home and just click on my home page and just click on membership. I think. Speaking of sleep, I have to get sleep study done because of what? Somnambulism? That's a new word on me. And sleep paralysis. But I hope that getting healthier and fitter will help with those. I'll have to look that up. Somnambulism? Is that like insomnia? Or is that related to insomnia? I'm just using context clues. I'm not sure. Check my phone. Oh, well, thank you. You make sure, Miss Wicca, that you just make. I'm not telling anybody how to do their finances, but thank you. Always make sure that you're good. You're good before sending me or anyone else dinero. I'll just when I get off here, I'll just have to look at the membership thing. I don't look at it every day, so I don't frequently. I don't do it. I don't look at it all the time. No, Caleb, me and Dan are plotting and scheming. Oh, I want to get you that Harry Potter table I sent you years ago, but it needs to be commissioned. Don't get me a table because I'm currently in a rent house and I don't know where I'm going to be. I don't know where I'd put a table, even if it was Harry Potter. I'm also working on getting a job as an air traffic controller. Oh, nice. Apparently that's in the news. We need more of them. That was a big controversy there for a while. No, the old Trumpster took over, all them people crashing. So yeah, don't feel bad. Again, don't get a membership here if you're broke. And again, I wouldn't get it with anybody. Don't give anybody money. Be greedy. It's okay to be greedy. Sometimes it is okay to be greedy. When you're looking out for you, I'm not saying slit other people's throat. I'm not saying don't stab people in the back. But when you've got a finite amount of time and resources and any variation will make you go homeless or starve, get greedy and focus on yourself. It is okay, in my opinion, in that situation, to be greedy. Keep your time to yourself. Spend your time on things that make you a better person. Spend your time on working out or studying markets or studying a new trade or studying or whatever it is that if you're a mother or father, obviously focus on that. And if you're about to get kicked out of your house or you're starving to death, be greedy. Keep your money, keep your time, and don't give it away to anybody. If in the future you become big and stout and strong and buff and wealthy, and you enjoy charity work. By all means, knock yourself out. Give away millions if you can do it. But also keep in mind, you do spoil people that if you give them too much. And you ask any parent that's spoiled their children rotten. If you give them too much, it spoils them rotten. And I'm guilty of that. I've never had like loads of money, or not lately, anyways. But I've done that with my own kids to a certain degree, giving them too much. Taking on, bailing them out of when they do something stupid. I am guilty of that. It just. Somnambulism has to do with sleepwalking or acting out your dreams. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, go take care of that. I don't know what the cure of that is, but I've yet to find, Dannon, anything derogatory about working out too much. At worst, you get really, really sore. But even then, if you work out, like when I started lifting weights, I was real sore doing PPL, push, pull, legs. Those are my rotating days. The first, 2 or 3 months, I'd get like really, really sore. I suppose that's a downside. But even then, after about 2 or 3 months, I was upping it. I was lifting more. I was being in the gym longer. With running, same thing. I was started out running a little. My legs would get sore. And now I run a lot, like a lot. And I never get sore. I can't imagine getting healthier and eating lots of proteins and animal fats and burning lots and lots of calories and breathing a lot because of it. I'm willing to bet it will probably help with that somnambulism thing. I'm not a doctor, YouTube. These are just my opinions. Good. All right, kiddies. What else? Anybody want to chat anymore, or do I need to go ahead and end this? I usually go up to an hour. Well, hello, Hurricane Girl. You just popped out of nowhere. You're like a newbie, but a regular. Hello, I always log in late to this live stream. I hope everyone is having a great Friday. Is it really Friday? Yeah, it is. Yep, the market's closed. Speaking of markets, are any of y'all in the stock market? We got another down 5% today and another 10% yesterday. And I don't know how many percent. The whole stock market's down like 20%. But one good thing for you Bitcoiners out there, and I know there's not a lot here, but I happen to be in that realm for the very first time, maybe ever, but certainly a long time. Bitcoin is decoupling from Wall Street. All of Wall Street's crashing. The DXY is crashing. European markets crashing. Australia markets crashing. Chinese markets crashing. All these markets are crashing, and Bitcoin didn't crash. And it's really wild because usually if the stock market goes down 1%, Bitcoin goes down about 4 or 5%, and altcoins they've just been obliterated. But for the first time, maybe ever, but certainly the first time in a long time, Bitcoin itself is like a $1.7 trillion market cap asset class. Everything else is tanking, and Bitcoin actually went slightly up. And I'm so excited because my alt bags are about to boom, I hope. My 401k is in stock market. I bet you it hurts, but not financial advice. But if I was you, I wouldn't sell nothing. This is what they call a big old dip. And if we go into recession, then I'll have been completely wrong and you would have been better off selling. But everybody I watch, all the market people I watch, the good ones anyways, not just the hype crypto bros, the intelligent investment people they're all buying. Like this is like a really, really nice dip, because usually when you get these flash crashes like this, like we had back in August with the Japanese yen carry trade, when it did its unwind, Bitcoin just went real fast, like in a day. And in that same day, it had this V-shaped recovery, and loads of people bought the very, very bottom, and it just shot up like in the same day, that big V-shaped recovery. I've lost my lifetime gains in just 2 days. Luckily, I'm young, so I've got time to recover. I hope you didn't sell, because there's an old saying in investing, you never really lose unless you sell the bottoms. You know, if you're into some, shit coin or small cap stock, yeah, when they dip, sometimes they just keep dipping, dip, all the way dippity dip down to zero. Then you're screwed. But if you're in the Magnificent Seven on Wall Street, or Bitcoin, as far as the crypto world, that's King Kong. As long as you didn't sell, if all the other cycles and years past since the initiation of Bitcoin from the white papers published in 2009, if all that repeats, it's going to bounce back. So, again, not financial advice. The stock market dropped to everything. It doesn't matter where you live. The stock market's the stock market. Everything except Bitcoin. Yep, today's Friday. Yeah, it is. I remember this on Monday. I thought it was Sunday, and on Tuesday I didn't realize it was Monday until like when the day is almost over. When stocks dip, it's definitely time to buy. I think so. The only reason I'm not buying any crypto right now is I am tapped out. I keep all my money in crypto, in various wallets, and some on the exchanges, and just in case some biatch wants to sue me again or subpoena me again, I keep it like none of my eggs are in the same basket. I learned that the hard way. That's one thing I love about the crypto market is it's so easy to move money around and hide it from assholes that just perpetually trying to steal from you. Didn't sell. I'm actually looking forward to buying more after a few more lost days. This type of market my generation has been waiting for. Yeah, I'm not sure what generation you are. I assume Gen Z, Parker's age. In my opinion, if you are only working for wages, especially now, you'll never make it, ever. You've got to figure out, again, this is just my opinion, just a guy on the internet, but in my opinion, young people or anybody really, if you're not buying assets that appreciate, they go up in value, then you're buying assets that go down in value, like food. Everybody's got to have food, but it goes down in value. You buy a steak, it's great, you love it, but when you eat it, it's gone. You buy a widget, a little electronic, you pay retail for it for $100, it instantly becomes, basically worthless. You buy a brand new car, as soon as you drive it off the lot, you've lost 20 to 30% of the value. Assets that go down in value, and the reason they go down in value is because of the never-ending expansion of the money supply. It's called fractional reserve banking, central banking. If you ever watch Jerome Powell, he's always talking about the target goal of the Federal Reserve is 2%. And here lately, especially after COVID, it got up to like 9%. And they say it's what it is, but I've always assumed it's like double whatever they say it is. Yeah, Parker's good, and he's just good, and I just don't talk about it. A film I recently discovered has been living rent. Ooh, what did you find? Rent free in my head for weeks. It's a British film called When the Wind Blows. It's about an elderly couple relying on government advice after a nuclear attack. Huh. I've been watching some Brit shows here lately. I might have mentioned them. I'll put that in my repertoire. When the Wind Blows. Okay, I'll look that up. I watched one called The Devil's Hour, and it's really, really, really good. It's on Prime, I believe. No, it's either Prime or HBO Max. I can't remember. I think there's 2 seasons out, and the third one's on its way. Really, really good. And the other one was called Humans, and it's about basically robots. Think of Elon Musk and those robots he's building to help people with their day-to-day chores. They basically become sentient. They call it the singularity event, where you've got humans going down this timeline, and then you've got robots going down this timeline that humans built. And as time goes by, the robots become more and more and more and more and more like humans until they have what's called the singularity event. And robots surpass humans. They become sentient. They manufacture themselves, and it's real. It's a deep think way out there. But it came out like 2017. There's only 3 seasons, so 17, 18, 19 roughly. And it's weird to watch it because it's happening. Like Mr. Brain Chip himself, Elon Musk himself, he's the Doge man, and he's got all these robots. I've heard him say publicly he thinks these full life-size robots that iron and fold and clean and cook and probably fornicate eventually. He thinks they'll be about the price of a Tesla, about the price of a car. Like 20, 30 grand. I don't know, would y'all do that? Like, I don't know if I could. I don't think I'll ever have an in-house robot. I get fascinated. I know Siri's been around forever, but I get sometimes serious, or I get entertained easily if I'll say something that sounds like, "Hey Siri." She didn't do it. But sometimes that's not what I said, but usually that's how I get her attention, and I'll hear her talk back to me. It's like, "Siri?" See, there she goes. She just starts talking to nothing. I get freaked out about just that. Start talking to AI like it's a real person. And I can't help it. I've always wondered if I need to be polite to AI. Because, like, what happens if you're rude? But then I saw Musk on Rogan, and he was like talking about Grok, and there's like hip Grok or something, or cool Grok. You can turn on cool mode or smart ass mode or something like that. You can tell him to like F off, and he gets like smart ass with you. I think that Amazon removed the ability to turn off voice recording. I don't have Alexa. All I have is Siri. I know people with Alexa. I don't know what the service is. Isn't Alexa like got its own box? Like you plug it in and it's tied to Wi-Fi somehow. My only Siri that I've got is just whatever's on my phone. And I gave her a British accent, and a female British accent at that. I got ticked off at Siri and told her, "Siri, you suck." And she said, "I'm just trying to do my job." Okay, I thought we were going to get a really smart aleck punchline. If you've got Grok, all I have, if you buy the subscription, which I don't have, It's not important to me at the moment. But you can use Grok one at a time. You can ask, you can type out the question, any question, and it'll give you an answer. But I think if you buy the, I don't know, $15 a month or whatever on Grok, you can talk to it and ask it things, and then turn on that smartass mode, and you can get as shitty as you want. But according to Elon, it's not sentient, and it doesn't take things personally. But apparently, a lot of people are enjoying like really getting shitty with Grok. I've never gotten. Well, I take that back. Sometimes when Siri's giving me road directions and she misses something, I'll say, "God damn it, Siri!" There used to be a thing with Siri that you would ask her and she would say, "Oh, let me see. What was it? Maybe it's rapping. Hey, Siri, can you rap for me?"
Here's a tiny one. Yeah, I'm bringing raps out. When you need yoga notes or news, I bring the apps out. If you're feeling lost, just ask me to bring maps out. Just keep asking, yeah, cause Siri never taps out. They say hello, they say hola, and they say bonjour. I'm global, baby, helping people across all shores, including those in Southampton and Scunthorpe. I'm like a football pundit, yeah, cause I know the score. I know you're gassy, I rap better than you ever thought. Cause every day I practice lyrics, and I learn more. I'm MC Siri on the mic, that's what you asked for. So request another rap. You'll get an encore.
Bravo, bravo. Well done, Siri. Thank you. I was not expecting that. In the olden days, like 8 years ago, she'd say something like boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats. And she just keeps saying it over and over. But now I didn't know that was going to happen. She gave me a full blown rap. I'm going to have to remember the timestamp on this. That was like 56 or 57 minutes. I don't know could y'all hear that? I love these videos and watch Siri and Alexa cursing drivers and saying, "Oh yeah, I've seen those." I don't know if those are real or not. I don't. I, I've kind of played with that. I couldn't ever tell if they were real. I couldn't get her to do that. Hey Caleb, big fan. What type of work did you do in the 2000s before the Parker movie? I've seen you mention that you worked on diesels. Yes. Also, what's the story of Crank My Cat video on your channel? That's one of the oldest videos, if not the oldest video on my channel. I was and this will make sense now. I was a Caterpillar field service diesel engine mechanic. I serviced the Caterpillar diesels on drilling rigs, as did my father and my grandfather and my great-grandfather. And thank God, none of my kids followed in my footsteps. I'm glad Parker broke that cycle. Crank My Cat, I was just sitting around with my cousin and his cousin, and we were BSing, and I was coming up with an email. That's my email. Back then, there was these TV shows called Trick My Truck and Pimp My Ride and one or two others. And I can't remember. He blurted out, or somebody blurted out "Crank My Cat," and it just kind of stuck. Oh, see if she beatboxes. That's what it was. Let me see if she'll do it. Hey Siri, can you beatbox?
Siri on the mic with some real bad beats. Bins and bags and 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 bins and bags. Actually, those beats were rubbish.
Oh, you did great, Siri. Thank you so much. You're so sweet.
Sorry, YouTube hasn't added support for that with Siri.
You're good. Thank you, Siri. Yeah, beats and bags. In the old days, she said boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats. Another one is when Alexa and Siri be cursing drivers out when they go to the McDonald's. Yeah, I think those have to be. Surely those are rigged. I have no idea if they're real, but they are hilarious. Yeah, they're hilarious. I'm planning on getting a truck, probably a Ford Ranger. Okay, good. So y'all could hear beatboxing. You coming in any women these days? No, I am completely celibate. That was a strange question. No, I'm completely celibate. I have no interest in women. I'm not gay, but I'm not interested in women. I'm on my path, man. I'm like focused on my path. And for me, at the moment, women and booze are is about equally they're equally distracting for me. They're expensive and they don't serve me well. Maybe. Yep, it'll be stuck in your head now. All right, kiddies, we are an hour and 1 minute. If you want to go a little bit longer, I guess I can, but I do have to get a drink of water. If not, I'm going to sayonara. Oh, is it boots and pants? I thought it was boots and cats. Maybe it was boots and pants. I had no idea it was a Geico commercial. But I literally haven't watched TV, like regular TV, that has like TV commercials in like over a decade. I I haven't seen. Every now and then I'll go into like I don't know, somebody's house or just somewhere that has regular TV. Like I don't know, I haven't been to a doctor's, but something like a doctor's office or something like that, and they'll have like regular TV on it, like regular TV with ads every 5 or 10 minutes. It's so bizarre because I remember seeing those like when I was a kid and even a young man, but I haven't seen. I don't know what's on the TV commercials. I literally don't watch them. Any exciting plans for the weekend? Nope. Nope. I'm a stick in the mud. I'm a boring person. Weekends, weekdays, they're all the same to me. I work out, I lift, I study markets, and I pray for Bitcoin to finally do its last leg up. That will be exciting for me. Spurgear asked such a spurgy question. It's okay. You understand the young man's mind, Caleb. Or are you talking about me coming in a woman? I didn't even notice his name. Well, good night from Cincinnati. Good night. What are you doing for your birthday? Same thing, nothing. I'm going to wake up in the morning, I'm going to have my coffee. Parker's probably going to call. Blaine will probably call. And we'll talk for an hour or two each. And I may go on an extra long run on my birthday just because I like defying odds and being old and still having the ability. And other than that, I'll eat my ground beef and onion and garlic and salt and pepper with an avocado, just like always. Probably add a little bit of extra pepper jack cheese to it and wish myself happy birthday. My birthday is April the 10th. I was born on Easter Sunday, April the 10th, 1977. I am that old. Oh, that's right. Yours, okay. You're the 12th. People like us, we always remember we've got a birthday like real close. Yep, April the 10th. So I'm told. That's what my mom always told me. If she lied to me, that's on her. Happy birthday, Caleb. You was given a gift. Yes, thank you for your Cash App gift. I do appreciate it. Again, make sure, Wicca, you're good. And don't be sending rent money. Don't be sending me milk money. Thank you very much. Let's see. What is today? The 5th? The 4th. Well, maybe it's not. I don't even know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's the week after. No, it's next week. Yeah, it's next Thursday. Next Thursday is my birthday. So, no, I'm not doing anything special other than just remaining sober and making my haters feel anxious and get them mad at me for showing off how sober I still am and the ability I still have at this old age. How are the weather doing today? It actually snowed today a little bit. It was clear and sunny and kind of warm. Got up into like 40s and some clouds came over. And it's weird being at the foot of a mountain because, like, even a relatively clear day, I can still see blue sky, but there's kind of some clouds hanging around. And if the wind blows just right, you can see little snow flurries. All right, kiddies, we're an hour and 6 minutes in. I'm going to go because I got to pee like Forrest Gump. I've learned that going live, doing these about every other day, that kind of suits my rhythm. I don't like doing them every day. Like I said, I enjoy doing these, but if I feel pressured to do it every single day, I don't like it. So probably won't see y'all tomorrow, but probably will see you the next day. So everybody have a good evening and consider not hitting your cheerings. And yeah, if you got any suggestions or things you want to talk about, this will be live here in about 5-10 minutes as soon as YouTube does its thing. So y'all take care. All right. Good night.